Hello, everyone. Welcome, as I said, to another pre-market breakdown Zoom call where I'll be going through EU and GU just to give our analysis of where I believe the market's going to go for the next week. This is just based on my analysis. You might have different analysis. But yeah, let's see what we can see and where we believe price is going to go. So I'm just going to start off with GU higher time frame. So I'll start off with the daily first, just to see where we've been. So I'm just going to zoom in and have a look. Okay, so that was the last high, which made the low. External, it's now come back and break it. So we're bullish, as everyone know that we are. In terms of where price is reacting from now, I'll go to the weekly, move over to this side. I did a line here. Okay, I'm going to do another line. I'm going to put it right here. Then I'm just going to go across to see where it's reacting from. Okay, so price is reacting from this area here. I'll just get rid of this. I was just doing some analysis earlier on. So what I saw is, so this is the area where price is reacting from. Of course, this area high, which is on a weekly, has led to a low, which caused a break of structure here. But the original, so this is like a decisional zone. The main zone is this one. So that is the high that led to the low down here, that break structure here. And this is the decisional zone that caused the break. This is from a weekly perspective, basically. So I've marked up I put a line here to say once price comes and break through this line, then we'll have like a major inducement, because it'll be a major level getting swept. So that's the reason why I've got this line here. Of course, above the line, we have this push. So, this is the overall high, which went down to this low that broke structure here. So, we will get some form of reaction in these type of areas when price comes up to these type of areas. But in terms of where we are, as I said, we're reacting from this blue line. On a weekly perspective, from here we're reacting from, which I believe when price is ready to go up, these areas will get taken out, because there's a nice clean weekly trend line, as we can see on here. 1 touch, 2 touch, 3 touch, all the way down. And then into like a very, very strong supply, which is, if we go down, we'll see that up here is what's responsible for down here, which break this structure here. So we're at extreme levels from that, like weekly perspective. So let me just drop down now to daily then. Let's see. So from the push, we can see the push very, very clear. This is the area that's responsible for this break. So then if you say this is the area that's responsible for the break, to simplify it, you can say, this area here is decisional, and then extreme is down here, which is where the push originate from. And this is the area that caused the break, this candle. Now, the way how price left, when it break the area, we see momentum, we see intent, we see that it wants to break this area here, which got broken. Now, I can look at it and say that, Friday price action, price is coming back down with almost the same intent. So I can't see in this area holding. I can't see in this area holding as well, because there are liquidity underneath. whether you say, let me drop down to 4 hours, we got there's imbalance underneath here. There's just so much that can be taken down here. And also, as extra confluence, if you get your fib tool and just draw from low to high, you'll see that price does not retrace to any good buying opportunity zones like the 61.8 and the 78.6. Of course, this is just like extra bit of confluence from where you potentially can look to start buying from. It doesn't have to come back to these levels, where I've seen in the past where it will come down, mitigate as probably come to here and then push off again. But ideally, we'd want it to come and take areas come into areas like this. Then you can then say the efficiency has met, and I'm looking for buys. In terms of lower time frame, I think once this area get taken out, because I do believe it's going to get taken out. Once this area gets taken out, this would be an inducement. Let me just take this off. I know there's a lot going on. So once this area gets taken out, so if this area gets taken out, this would then be an inducement for me to push price up. But I don't believe this is going to push price to make a higher high. It might push it and respect like a supply zone like this. So if you look here, you will see that to that, drag it across. We have a 4-hour supply zones. So in terms of buying, I'm only going to buy not long term, 1 to 3, 1 to 4, but I'll be looking to sell it, me personally, to try and go in deep into this level and take some more liquidity down here. And what aid my bias is I'm seeing daily candle, Friday candle closing like this. So this is giving me extra confidence that when today, Monday start, I'm just going to continue to look for selling opportunity and continue the complex pullback down into these type of areas, as I said. 4 hours, that's the zone, as I said, I'm looking at. Let's just drop down to 1 hour. So if this is the 4-hour zone that I've marked out here, if I delete this, we can see in terms of 1 hour, the main push for me is from this top up here, go all the way down here. That broke this structure here. Very, very clear, very, very simple to see. If I drop down again, so we can see it properly, see it. Look, we have inducement, high, that led to the low down here. So for me, I've got break of structure here, test, then push lower, creating what? Trend line. There's also what? Trend line created above. 1 touch, 2 touch, 3 touch, 4 touch, which is also a liquidity line above. Now, this area is remember, this is the area. So when I say this area, I'm talking about the whole of this is responsible, if I move across, for the external break of structure and also this break of structure on this line. This is the area that's responsible for it. So when price comes back into it, I do expect some form of reaction. We might get reaction 15 minutes, maybe price might look into induce this. So that would be like a medium inducement, and then it'll push up because we got a ton of liquidity that it needs to go and grab to then continue to sell down. But at least then you can see some form of play of what potentially could happen. But yeah, in terms of break and test, as I said, break, test for me here, push lower. Bagger trend line above, decisional zone, extreme zones. But, it could blow past these and go to like this zone here, which has not been mitigated, where we have an order block with an imbalance. Maybe it's going to come, tap into this, and then go down. But in terms of like respecting just price action, we'd want to either see go to here or here. If I get my fib tool, draw from the inducement high down to the low, we can see that these are the areas that potentially we can look to sell it down from. Doesn't mean that it will work, but I would think that would be a very, very sensible play. Depending on how Asia opens up in terms of, tomorrow, if this continues to go down, go down, go down, I'll be looking to buy for the day. And as I said, buy up very, 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 very short buys. I'm not holding it to go and make a higher high. I'm just only holding it 1 to 3 or 1 to 4, whatever. Come back to up to here, and then I'll be looking to sell. So I'll be looking, if I'm worse to buy, I'll be putting my stop loss up to these levels. Sorry, my TP up to these levels is where I'll be looking to try and come out before it gets to these levels. Because, there'll be equal highs up here. All sort of stuff will be up here. Trend line, everything will be up here. But yeah, in terms of my GU analysis, it's very, very straightforward for me. Yeah, this is what I'm looking at. Do we have what I'll do now? Just take a couple minutes just to see other people's opinion, what they think. Do they have the same analysis as me? What's their thoughts? So anyone would like to come on and say anything? Everyone's quiet today.
These guys are sleeping, man. These guys
know
are
everyone's
sleeping.
quiet today. How is everyone quiet today? Come on. You know what it is, Six? Maybe my analysis is that good that they've not got anything to say about it.
Brother Shane, when you talk, we have nothing to say.
Whoa, whoa.
Oh, man. You do it so well, mashallah.
Huh?
You do it so well.
Okay. It's clear as daylight, isn't it?
Clear as day, bro.
Yo,
It's clear as daylight.
Shane,
Yeah?
don't trust this guy Zarwan, man. Angel low, this guy.
But you can see, but once everyone kind of understand the flow of how things are going, this is why I say to everyone, take this off. Don't keep this on. Take it off and look at raw price action. You can see the inducements. You can see them. Look, inducement here. Where's another inducement? There's another inducement up here where it's induced this. And when Wakar's saying in his video, inducement in control, just count them 1, 2, 3, but understand that we're in a complex pullback. So liquidity should be left above, which pro trend will then take later on. So once, if as I said, if a good area to buy from is if this area gets smoke, because we have a in session. So if London opens up down here and we get an inducement in our session down here, I'll be looking to buy. If it takes this, I'll be looking to buy as well. And as I said, I'm buying up to here, up to these levels, and then that's basically it. And after these levels, then I'm we're looking back to sell again. But you can see clear break of structure, clear inducements, clear where we're looking to go, clear liquidity underneath in terms of these areas. And then once the efficiency is met, then I'll be looking to buy in again, and then just following price, higher highs, higher lows, basically. But yeah, that's basically it for GU. Simple, not complicated. Very, very, very simple. Just going to go over to EU now. And again, I'll start from the daily or the weekly on EU. So just bear with me 1 second. Drag this all the way over here. Okay, so EU, let's look at the week of EU. So, okay, so can you see this line I've put straight away on the weekly? I can see it as a resistant level straight away. Look, the reason why I put the line is so I can mark where where price is reacting from. So price went all the way to right here on the weekly time frame, and then it stopped. So what this line does is it just makes me look back to see where. Okay, I can see where. I can see that we're reacting from this imbalance right here. Also, like on GU, the same again. This is the high that's responsible for the break, which is down here. That's the high it made, but this high didn't lead to anything. This is the one that caused the break. So this is the important one. It hasn't tapped into the order block yet. It's reacting from the imbalance, the weekly imbalance. It hasn't tapped into that order block yet. Now, we know on a weekly, that's the high, led to a low, break structure. So this is just like we did on GU. This is extreme supply level. We're at the top of the top. Also, as I just check and seen, we're at a resistance level. Look. Or support or resistance, where it comes, it taps, it breaks through, it taps, it breaks through, and now we're coming up to a tap in the same line that I draw. No problem. So let's look on the daily. So we know we're at resistance levels, and usually with resistance levels or support levels, we would look to break through it or target it to, as a breakthrough. But yet again, as we see in the past, it could hold where it comes in juice and go down more. Or what we see here is when it was coming up, it went down, touch it, but it broke it in these prices, it broke through. And where it tap it again, it broke through. But just something to bear in mind that there's some kind of levels that's here that price keep reacting from. So now we came back to the level again. Let me just zoom in and look. Massive rejection, massive. Wick, small body, which is pure rejection. If we follow price, we can say from a weekly perspective, that's the low that led to this high, which broke structure here externally. Extreme zone would be somewhere down here. Decisional would be somewhere around here. This is the area that's responsible for the break of structure. This is why this area is the decisional zone from a weekly perspective. So now we're going to drop down to daily. Let's see what we can see. Okay. We can see that buyers are in control, but we can see the buyers are getting challenged by sellers because we have a big candle coming up with body and a little bit of wick, but then look, the coming down is nothing but pure selling pressure. So that tells me that this decisional zone, why is this decisional zone? Because just like on GU, this is the area that's responsible for the external break of structure, which brought this. So this is the decisional zone. Just like GU, I'm expecting this zone to break. Why do I expect it to break? Because sellers are giving me the same power of what buying is giving me in terms of where we are. So I do not believe this zone is going to hold. Also, there's liquidity underneath. Another way you can look at this is internally, we have a break of internal structure here. Probably this is a test. So as a play, you can wait for the test to be induced. And then, look for temporary buys. Buys to where? To supply zone. Just the same as GU. Because on a daily perspective, this is a supply zone. So potentially induce, buy to supply, and then go down again. Because we still have levels down here that's not been mitigated. There's loads of liquidity probably still lying below here. And then the same as what I said to you on GU, you get your fib tool, draw from low to high. You can see we have not come back to any levels of where you can say, okay, I believe the efficiency is met and price can, can look to go up from here. The Fibonacci tool is just used for extra confluence. Obviously, it's not, oh, it has to come there. It's just extra confluence that when it's at these levels, you can say, oh, it's in premium levels basically. And I'll look to buy now. So let's drop down to 4 hours and see what we can see. We already can see how hot this is coming in here anyway. So definitely for me, it's going to get smoked. Drop down to 4 hours, what we can see. Okay, we can see that high made that low. We had a retracement. And then this is the new high. From a 4-hour perspective, came all the way down and broke. So it broke structure here. Yeah. And we're coming in this area very, very hot. Let's drop down to 1 hour. Let's see what I can see on 1 hour. Okay. So we get in some form of inducement right here, some form of medium inducement here into, probably if I drop to 15 minutes. Let's turn this off for a second. Okay. So yeah, so this was London session. You can see it's going to get induced. That would be a medium inducement. Obviously, I don't believe session's going to open up here. I think Asia is going to push down. I'm expecting Asia to push down and give us a massive push up. Because if you look, you can see inducement, medium inducement into mitigation of this extreme, or the whole zone will get smoke. And then this will be an inducement within the whole zone to then push price higher. Let me just close this off again. Let's have a look. So just like GU, inducement in control. Let's have a look. We have an inducement here. Induce levels up here. Inducement, push lower. Didn't break the extreme low because remember what we said on the 4 hour. One leg, we have a retracement, and then 2 leg break. This for me was always SMT because remember what we say. So if I put here smart money trap, so with smart money trap, we have after price made the low, we had a push off, it came back, mitigated. This is area here, failed to make a higher high, came back again, induced deeper into this area. So we know this area is going to get smoked. Look, smoked, came back, respect. Also, when it was coming back, let me just turn on session so we can see it. Let me get rid of this and this so we can see clear. After it did an inducement, it came back, it pushed down, didn't cause nothing. It came up, did an inducement, and then it smoked the whole zone again. So from what I can see is that's the high. Inducement high, which is a very strong high, which led to a low, which caused a break of structure, which it caused this break of structure here. Let me just take this off so I can see it properly. So this is the inducement high, which led to the low down here, which caused a break of structure. So what I've marked is break, test, push lower. Just like GU, we're looking at an inducement, which has already happened now, into a mitigation or inducement of the whole zone, then we'll look to buy up to take away this break and test and potentially mitigate this supply zone to then go lower, potentially. Yet again, the same thing. Look, you can see it's a complex pullback because it's leaving trend line above. 1 touch, 2 touch, 3 touch. When it's pro trend, there is no, the liquidity still get left, but not in terms of trend line. It's just boom. And then when we come back, we're leaving liquidity above, which we're going to target later on. So don't be surprised if you see a move like this. Look, so let's say, okay, so it's already been smoked there. So let's say it disrespect this area and come to here or come to here, and then sell down. The reason why I say that is even though it breaks past this level, this doesn't make it a change of character. We need to see more build up that it wants to go up before we can then change our bias and say we're going to buy rather than sell. Because look, even if it comes to here, this is still the 4-hour high that broke this main structure here. So inside of the 4-hour high, which make a low, we have highs and lows inside of it. So it could just use these as sweep to sweep liquidity, respect the 4-hour high, or potentially could induce the 4-hour high and tap into a level like this. And then goes down because look, it takes the liquidity that's built up on these trend line, and then we use it as fuel to push price lower to then go to more desirable areas to then look for buys after, after it's sweeping of liquidity, then it will look to buy and target these areas back up here. That's potential. Or it could just respect market structure and high lows, high lows, lower highs, lower lows, lower high, lower low, and then continue to go down. But definitely we are going to get some reaction, in these levels. Once this sweep happens, we're going to get some reaction. So, you guys can position yourself however you want to position yourself. Rather, you're going to look for buys when the market opens straight away and target these, or you're going to wait and be patient and say, okay, I'm going to go with the complex pullback, because once liquidity has been swept from these areas or up here and we're targeting down, it's going to come down with force because it's taking liquidity. And it will use that as force to push price further down. And you can see price is going to go further down because the daily is telling you it is. You're not guessing. It's telling you, look, Friday is telling you I'm going down now. Look how it's coming into this area here. It's telling you. We're not guessing. It's telling you. So again, that's my analysis anyway. I'm going to keep quiet now. I'm going to open up the chat, let everyone have a go. Tell me if they see anything different. What would they do different from basically what I've just said? I need someone to talk. Everyone can't be quiet.
These
Anyone
guys
have
are
anything to
sleeping, man.
Everyone is just... Does anyone have anything to say in terms of analysis? Everyone's sleeping today. Anyone disagree with what I'm saying? Yassine, what do you think anyway, since you're the only one that's here? Everyone's sleeping.
You're good, man. You're good.
Everything makes sense, isn't it?
Yes, sir. World class.
That's what I like to hear. See,
You know what I think?
Yeah.
Some of these guys have different analysis and they don't want to share. It's okay, man. There's no right or wrong.
There isn't. There really isn't. And like how I explain it, how I've explained it. I
Remember,
try and
you
make
get
it,
paid based on the analysis, not somebody else's analysis.
yeah. But I've explained it in a way that people can understand. Like, I'll show them, you can see the inducements, you can see where it's pushing, you can go back to the daily, you can see the intent of previous day. You can see everything because all we're trying to do is basically position ourselves to take the best possible outcome we can take. And I know we're bullish and we haven't reached any efficiency of pullback. Previous days giving you this intent. Why not just go with it? Because we haven't reached the efficiency yet. And just, carry on looking to sell it down. But on the way down, yes, if you know what you're doing, and you're using inducements like here or down here, you can get your 1 to 3 buys and buy up, or TP full TP supply zones of where you're expecting the reaction to step in and where you're expecting sellers to step in. Because look, any
Bro,
buys,
I have a question.
well, it's his trend line. Yeah, go for it, bro.
Bro, there are medium inducement and supply. Why are you mark this is supply? Because there are above the trend line. Though this is
Why have I
marked.
marked it as a supply?
Yes, yes,
This area here,
yes,
because it is a supply zone. This is the high that led to the low that breaks structure. It's still a supply zone.
yes. I know, but above that trend line.
Okay, can I ask you a question then? This zone here,
Uh,
including the imbalance, this is a supply zone. There was trend line, 1 touch, 2 touch, above it here.
uh,
It tapped, mitigates it, and then it pushed down. Look, mitigate it and push down.
uh.
Does it make sense? Because
No, I
the
don't
complex
understand.
pullback, its job is to leave liquidity above,
Uh,
because when pro trend then steps in, it will use that liquidity as fuel to push price higher. But if the
oh,
selling fuel is running out and
mm.
price still needs to go lower, it might want to go on what? Restock by taking some of these out to then push price down more. It's just it, yeah.
When price go up, then the supply made SMT. When
Well,
price
this
go up, then the supply.
are you saying when price goes up, this supply will be
Yes,
SMT? Potentially,
yes.
yes. But potentially it
Oh,
could hold.
oh, oh,
Remember, it's still a high that made a low that breaks structure. And
yes.
what's a valid supply? A high, a low that make a high that broke structure, or a high that make a low. These are what we call, good supply and good demand. Does that make sense?
Oh, oh.
It's still a
Now I
supply,
can
just like
clear.
this is just like up here was a supply, just like up here is a supply, just like these areas up here was, well, probably further up here was a supply. These are all supply areas where price came, mitigate, and then push down. It came, mitigate, well, this one induced, then push down. Look, tapped into the imbalance. We have a medium inducement. Tap into this imbalance, or if you want to mark the whole thing as a supply zone, all of this is a supply zone for me anyway, because I marked the whole area. It came up,
Oh,
tap into this because this is supplies to me. This is supply, and then this is like a demand zone. Obviously, once you start going down, you can refine it to make it smaller and smaller. But obviously, in this zone, we can see there's an imbalance here. But yeah, all I'm doing is giving you ideas of what could happen. This supply can get smoke. This supply can either get respected or it can get smoke. Potentially, if you're saying, okay, this is a weak supply because there's liquidity above, then instead of depending on how London opens, if it opens down here, you can then say, I'm going to target this SMT supply because you can see liquidity above, and then put your TP once the supply has been taken, or up to these level once this trendline liquidity is taken. But I don't believe that price is going to go up like that and make a new higher high. So if I don't believe that price is going to go up and make a new higher high, then one of these levels up here, price has to stop to then go back down again. Does that make sense? Or, if it goes up from here, this one might hold. This one might hold. Let's say it holds there, then it goes down, and then that add another touch to my trend line. So once it takes this bottom area here, then it goes up, and then you take all of this trend line out, and then it will go down more. Or it can continue going down and then just use all of this as fuel to be taken out on the way up. It's just, there is no right and wrong answer. You just have to see what price do on the day. I've just marked this out now because I know that, that it was an inducement supply. It induced high, that's a medium inducement high, broke low. Strong for me because it's an inducement one. Does that make sense, my bro?
Yes, bro.
Yeah. Doesn't mean that it's
Yeah.
going to hold. Doesn't mean that it's going to hold, but it's still a supply that cause a break of structure to the downside. So,
Okay.
it depends on where, tomorrow opens up and where we are.
Bro, I understand this is supply, but I think that what can I say? I know this is supply, but when price go to up and sweep the supply, that it made SMT. This is my problem. Then I can understand.
So what you're
If-
saying is, so what are you saying? When price goes up, it's going to be
Yes,
SMT.
yes.
Yeah, potentially. Yeah, it will be potentially.
Uh, now can I understand?
Basically, yes, it will be SMT when price goes up. So, but you need to see it. But at the moment now, as in today, this for me is a supply.
Oh,
Does it make sense?
okay.
For now, right now, as we're speaking, it's a valid supply for me.
Oh,
When tomorrow comes now, when the market opens and I'm seeing this area, which is a good area getting taken, then I will change this from valid supply to then I might change it to SMT because I would then need to see what reaction that price is going to come up to this level. Is it going to come up like this? Look. So after we have an inducement, let's say we've already had the inducement. Let's say we have the inducement of this levels as well, which for me is a key level, yeah? If I start seeing it coming up like this, into this area, then potentially I might take my shot here or I might wait for it to get induced and then take my shot here. If I then see after it comes down here and coming up like this, I might say, no, it's going to get smoke and probably a couple of these is going to get smoke and I'll see which one of these is going to react it from because I think it's going to react from one of these and then go down more because there's still liquidity line underneath. And also we haven't reached any efficiency. So we haven't reached down here. As I said, it doesn't have to go down there, but I would want to see it tap into like at least mitigate this area somewhere around here, or for me to then say, yes, I'm going to look to start buying again. But it depends on how price is when it's coming down. Because if this candle, this day, comes down again like this into this, then potentially it might get smoke. It might smoke it. But all with me, I look at volume, how the candles are coming into my area. If it's coming into my area hot, then I will take extra precaution about if my zone is going to hold or is it going to get smoke. Just like when price is coming in hot in this area, I'm going to say it's going to get smoked, basically.
Okay, I understand, my bro. Thank you.
No, you're welcome, my bro. Any other questions while we're here? Does anyone have any different analysis from what I've just said?
I'm Shane.
Yeah?
Question. So, I know y'all execute on the 1 minute. So basically, when they reach, depend on how it coming up. So if it coming up like how you said, like slow with trend line, you'd wait for on a 15-minute induce, then you go down to the 1 minute.
So if it's coming up slow and it's leaving trend line underneath, then potentially it would either induce or mitigate and then give us a sell-off. Because for me, this is a value supply zone. Yes, there's liquidity line above, but then obviously you have to put a bit of sense to it. If reacting from this area here and this zone has not been taken out yet, because let me tell you why you need to put a little bit of common sense with it. Because then look, if you go on the daily, and we know that this is a decisional zone that calls the external break of structure. If price react without breaking this, it might not get it. Well, it might not have enough fuel to go up and break the supply zone. Now, if the day opens and this area, the decisional zone, getting induced, of course, I can only hope and expect price would then have enough fuel to then come up and potentially smoke this area and take out a couple of these area as it's coming up and then tap into, potentially some supply zone that's not been mitigated and then push down further because the efficiency of the pullback is not met. Because I believe the efficiency will be somewhere down here, or at least this line getting mitigated. Does that make sense? So it's all with context and how it's coming up. If a daily decisional zone's getting induced, I'm expecting a reaction. I'm expecting a good reaction. If the daily zone is not getting induced and we're getting a 15-minute medium inducement, which is right here, into this mitigation, of course, there's trend line going up. I'll look at how it's coming up. If it's coming up quick, then I'll make a decision on the day at that time. If it's in my session, whether I'm going to say this zone is going to respect or I believe it's going to be induced and not fall for fake out. Like fake push down, then go up and take it. Because I know it's a dangerous area I'm playing on because there's trend line liquidity above. So depending on how you guys trade, you guys can then say, okay, this might not hold. I'll wait for what? An inducement of this supply, and then I'll sell down. Let me just put on this because maybe you want to see this Asia high here get taken, and then you might play from somewhere here. Or maybe you wait for this other Asia to be taken, and you play from somewhere up here to then sell it. Does it make sense?
Yeah, I understand.
Yassine.
Yes, my guy.
What's your thought in what I've just said?
Good man. You said it right. If you get an inducement low, okay, now price is bearish, but the condition is to buy. You buy up, right? If you get an inducement high, you sell down.
Which is basically what I'm saying. But is this not a valid supply?
100%.
It's an inducement supply. Yes, there's trend line above, so you need to be careful when you're going when price is going into it. But it all depends on what Asia opens up and what's happened. As long as everyone on the chat know that once this box get induced, we're now induced a daily decisional zone. So yes, you're going to get a reaction from that. That reaction can either A, respect this and go down, or B, induce this, grab some liquidity to go down further. But once the efficiency is met, then we'll be looking to buy. I personally don't believe the efficiency is met until price comes and mitigate this internal BOS I've got right here and tap into some levels down here to then we look to buy up. If it comes even further down into this box, then I'll be once it goes down into these areas, I'm looking to buy anyway. I would not be looking to sell because now we start getting into extreme demand area down here. But we're here now. We're nowhere down here. So I'll be looking to sell. So it's down to you. You can take counter trend move and go up, or wait and take internal pro trend move and go down in the forms of complex pullback. What did the last person say?
Spot on, O'Shane.
Huh?
Spot on, man. Spot on work.
Spot on work. Oh, beautiful. That's what I want to hear. As long as sometimes when I explain things, you need to look at the context behind it because, of course, this can be SMT. I'm not doubting it's SMT. There's trend line above. I've marked out the trend line above. So yes, this area is going to be SMT, and it could potentially get smoke. But you need to see how price is going to go up, where the session opens, how Asia plays out, and where we are. Because we could open up and prices already swept all of this, and then London start opening somewhere up here. I just don't want people to think once this area has been taken, we're looking for buys. Potentially, we could be looking for buys, but we need to see it develop to say that it's wants to buy. But for me, I'm going to sell until it reach down here. That's me. So you can either take the buy up or you can wait and take the sell down, depending on what London and where the market opens up, basically. And that's basically it. But yeah, we have a medium inducement right here. This is a medium inducement into a mitigation. So, and we have trend line. So we're definitely going to be going up. So either it's going to go up now or it's going to go up after it takes this. We are going to go up.
Shane, you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you now, bro.
I have a good question. Let's say price just shoots through the demand zone in like Asia maybe, and it just completely, it just completely disrespects it. Would you then wait to get further development or look for shorts?
If price breaks through this zone here, I'll be looking for buys because immediate liquidity for me would be high. It will not be low.
Okay, yeah, makes sense.
Does it make sense? This is immediate liquidity. This is immediate liquidity. Just like when price was going down here, can someone tell me where is the immediate liquidity here?
Yeah, but let's say maybe Asia comes down 50 pips. Then you could maybe say, yeah, but you don't want to catch a falling knife, So you need to wait for further development if you're just gonna buy from below that zone, and if it's coming in hot with big bearish candles, would you still buy or?
I'll wait. Me, as I said, I trade momentum, so I'll wait. I will not buy, of course. Does it make sense? I'll wait.
Yeah.
If it's coming down hot, then why would I buy? It doesn't make no sense. I'll need to see the buy dying out, and I'll need to see. Sorry, do you mean sells, not buys? If it's
Yeah,
coming down,
sells.
sells. Yeah, I was gonna say if it's coming down hot, then even better. If it can break these area quick, then I'll be positioning myself to buy. But it's one of them ones. We don't know when it's gonna stop and then the buy's gonna kick in. But what I can say is I'm seeing inducement here. I'm seeing inducement here. I'm seeing this zone is gonna be mitigated. This zone is liquidity for me. Let's say from here to here is liquidity. Then it's mitigating this area here because this low to this high, let me draw a box and mark it out. And then I pull it across. Then I'm going to go up time frame. Okay, probably on the monthly. This is a demand zone. That's just a refined off of the demand zone. Can you see? This is a demand zone, and this is a refinement of it. So on a higher time frame, this will be a demand zone, all of this. So prices on the comeback, tap into the demand zone, and potentially will give a reaction on the higher time frame. But when you refine this demand zone, this is what you get. If you refine this, so if you drop down, if you refine this, you can refine it to somewhere down here. But yeah, it depends. For me, I'll be looking for buying once this area once price goes into this area, then I'll start looking for buys again. Anywhere around here, I'll start looking for buys. But yeah, it depends. If it opens up hot and it's coming down hot, then I'll just sit on my hands and wait until I start seeing, bullishness steps in, and then I will look to take it from there, basically.
Okay, thanks, bro.
Okay. Any other question?
Everyone quiet, man. These
Okay.
guys don't want to talk to you, Shay.
Nah, I would take it as compliment because, if your analysis is good and a lot of people has got similar analysis to you, then, they probably have got nothing really to say. But yeah. Do you agree with me though, Yasin, in terms of immediate liquidity to target?
100%. But me personally, I'm just selling. I'm not buying.
So you wait, isn't it, until you get an inducement. Basically, you're gonna wait till price goes up to anywhere up here or up there.
Yeah,
and then sell it.
It's Monday, so I'm not really gonna be like too keen to buy, sell. It's Monday, you know what I'm saying? Beginning of the week. We might not get a sell tomorrow. It might be just a buy, but I'm really not interested in buys. Unless that black zone, see that zone you marked at the bottom, that's 77 pips. It's not 10,
What?
it's not 15,
Th-
it's not 1.
This
It's a
one.
big zone.
Which one? This
The one at
one?
the bottom. Yeah.
This is
Go
the big
from low
one.
to high. That's a 77 pip zone. So I'm not really, you know what I mean?
Oh,
Like I
that's the
don't
wrong
care.
one.
I don't care to buy before it reaches there, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. But you're right I'm right in what I'm saying in
Yeah,
terms of
100%.
you're not looking to buy until at least down here. At
Yeah.
least.
I mean, you could buy intraday, you know what I'm saying? You see a median
Yeah,
inducement, you buy it 1 to 3, you know what I'm saying? But
that's
you
the
have
re
to.
that's the reason why I said if you're buying, you'll be looking to put in your TP at these levels. So level like
Yeah,
this, or probably inducement. So let's say up here. But
100%, man. Like
that's
if
the
I look to buy, which I'm not looking to buy, but if I was looking to buy, right? I want to see a medium inducement to the low. I want to see some confirmation, and I want to buy a 1 to 3. Next supply I close. Even if it makes a higher high, That's not my job.
Yeah. It's because the other thing as well is, guys, you have to remember where we are in the higher time frame. So daily, we're up. We're coming down, and we're coming down hot, but we're up. We're up here. We're up here. We're not, we're not down here to then say I'm gonna buy. We're up
Just
here.
condition versus direction. You know what I'm saying? Right now, direction turned bearish. We understand it's just only a H1 bearish leg. It's not like a daily bearish, trend or whatever. It's just 1 hour trend bearish, right? Because it just broke structure to the downside, which is valid to me to sell intraday. You know what I'm saying? I'm not swing trading this position. So for me to buy, right? Because overall direction is bullish, there's no condition to buy from that high. You know what I'm saying? I'm all the way up there.
Yeah. Makes sense. And the thing is, once everyone gets market structure like to the T, and then SMT gets your SMT comes easier after you get market structure to the T, because you already start marking out smart money traps straight away, because you know market structure. They both go hand in hand. Market structure and SMT, they go hand in hand straight away, because it's not usual for things to do. When it start doing something that's unusual, you'll be like, yeah, that's SMT straight away.
I think another factor is, if you see a medium inducement, you have to ask yourself, where can this target? Where can this go? You know what I mean? Once you start asking yourself those questions, it'll be way easier to try to figure out, okay, if we had just a medium inducement here, what was the point of this medium inducement, right? Because inducement leads to another inducement, right? So if you have an inducement low, say you're bearish, that inducement is just to retrace, right? So if it's a retrace, where's the next inducement? Where's the next liquidity? Once you ask yourself those questions, it'll be way easier.
Okay. And you can then say, then based on that, is this inducement would then probably lead to this. It can even induce this or respects it. There might not be enough fuel in this inducement to push it higher and break it. Yet again, there might be enough fuel into it to break it and go to a valid supply zone to then go down again. But yeah,
100%, bro.
That's basically
just gotta wake up and see where the days go. But
this is it.
Me personally, I'm only selling. I'm selling. That's it. And if I don't find a sell, it's okay. It's always tomorrow, it's always next week, it's always, a day after, So that's what I'm looking at, to be honest. Shane, think about it, yeah? You mitigate a monthly supply, right? Go on a monthly, that mitigate a monthly supply. Weekly, mitigating a weekly supply, right? Daily, send out a higher high. H1, turn bearish. You know what I'm saying? Why would I buy from up there? And we send all the way that high of a market. You get what I'm saying? It don't make sense to me, to be honest, for me to continue to buy. And if you buy short term, target next liquidity, next structure, get out. That's what I think.
This is the push for everyone, so you can see. That's the low that made the high up here, which broke internal structure and external structure. Of course, the push starts from here, but in terms of, for us, internally, this is the area that caused the break of this one and this one. So, until you see this getting taken out, then you can then say, okay, I'm going to aim for external demand, which would be down here, basically. But the one that's kind of relevant for us now is just these ones on the way, on this push. This is what's relevant to us. And then look, inducement. Bear in mind, this is a 1 hour time frame. Inducement, 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 inducement. That's an inducement down here. That's another inducement down here. Potentially, this is an inducement somewhere here as well.
Oh, Shane,
That's
let's say that induces to the low. Where do you think it's gonna go?
which one?
Like that level that you just said is gonna induce. Where do you think it's gonna
This.
go? Yeah.
It will give a reaction because that's a decisional zone. So it will give us it should go up, but then it depends on the momentum of bearish, how strong it's going down. But it should give us a reaction anyway. So it should be giving us a push up.
Yep.
And once it gives us a push up, as I said, that push up may induce this and take some of this liquidity to then use as fuel to go down more. That's what I've been saying. That's all I've been saying. But once, as I said before and now, as soon as it reaches these type of areas, I will no longer be looking for sells. I'll be looking for buys. So any kind of selling opportunity, you might not see me take any, and I'll just put my positions in any buys that come my way and go into buys. Because then I have one confluence is that the efficiency is met, because all we can do is put probability in our side. And then, you know, if I'm following my, like how I trade and I'm saying I'm now at key level and efficiency is met in my eyes, then I'm just going to look for buys until price tells me otherwise. But not going to buy recklessly. Of course, if I'm seeing big bearish candle coming down, I'm not going to say, oh, I'm going to jump in because we're at 61.8 and 78.6 and this is demand level. You know, it could just mean that we're going to continue bearish and potentially breaks this. So, you know, it's just context you need to put with your analysis and also common sense. And, you know, when you look at it, just look and say, which one of these is more probable to happen? Is this more probable or is this more probable? And even if you guess the wrong way and say, okay, I think this is more probable, if you wait long enough, the market will then tell you what it wants to do. And I think that's the issue that I've overcome in the last couple of weeks or probably months, is I was quickly to try and put my analysis and say, oh, it should definitely do this, and not let it tell me that it wants to do this. And this is how I enter trade now. So, you know, I don't really go on the 1 minute. I'm not going to lie to anyone. I don't go on the 1 minute. I don't look for 1 minute change of structures and breakers, you know, change of characters and break structure, or 2 or 3 legs anymore. What I do is I go on 3 minute and I wait until it tells me that I am ready to go this way. And then I'll take my shot. Because it will tell you that I am going to go this way. And even if it's wrong, because of the momentum of like it's telling me that, oh, maybe I need to get in now. If I'm wrong, I should already be at break even because of the momentum of it pushing down, and my break even is very quick. It shouldn't really come back to stop me out, basically. You know, so, you know, you can see, look, just on 15 minutes, look. Here, it steps in, we're going down. It steps in here, we're going down. It steps in, look to how it's coming up. You can see momentum. It steps in here, it steps in here, it steps in here, probably steps in up here. If you go up to a higher time frame, you can see it better. It steps in, it steps in, it steps in. Look, when it steps in, when I say steps in, I'm talking about the bearishness, the selling momentum compared to the bullish. When the seller steps in, they are taking price down, but it tells you that it's ready. So, you know, it tells you that I'm ready to step in now. Let me bring it down lower. And, you know, it just goes basically. But yeah, that's pretty much all I have for my analysis. I've shared EU and GU. I've also shared from higher time frame down to, what, 15 minutes. I've shown you areas potentially of where You can put your supply zones. You can also see, my inducement. We have marked my inducement. You can see trend line that's built up. You can see the overall things is complex pullback. So that's liquidity line up there, 1 touch, 2 touch, 3 touch. We know that we're in this Z level, this area here. We know that this area on the daily is a decisional zone responsible for the break of structure. Is it responsible for the external break of structure? And we can see it's coming in hot. So we can then say, based on what we're seeing, it's going to get induced. Once it's induced, then we should get a reaction up. Reaction to potentially this zone right here. And then go down again. But yeah, that's pretty much it. Any more question from anyone while we're here?
Bro, I have a question.
Okay.
Bro, why are you mark decisional zone or daily? Why do you mark or why do you identify this is the decisional zone daily?
Because it's what caused the break of structure. So each whatever time frame you're on, each one of them will have a decisional and an extreme zone, no matter which time frame you're on. They all will have it. All will have decisional, all would have extreme. For me, that just make my understanding of where I am a little bit more simpler, because you need to simplify it. You don't want to overcomplicate it. So look, daily time frame. This is the area, or this demand zone is what's responsible for me for the break of this. This is for me. It might not be for you. So for me, this is the area that caused this order block, is what caused the break of structure here. So for me, this is my decisional zone. My extreme zone is down here. You can then say your decisional zone is here. No problem. This could be a decisional zone down here. No problem. But for me, this area is what caused of this external break of structure. That's why for me it is.
Oh.
Does it make sense? Yeah. It could be this one down there.
Oh.
You could say this is your decisional zone. Because
Yes,
this is
why this is my and why able this is you. I don't understand this thing.
why say that again?
Why this is my down decisional zone is my and up decisional is zone for you. Why this is?
Give me a second. I'm trying to understand what you're saying.
He say, Shane, why is this decisional zone for you and not for him?
Oh, why? It's just for basically you need to put a system of how you need to mark out, because basically the chart is how can I explain it to you? The chart is like, it's confusing. So for me, this is how I understand it. Does it make sense?
Oh.
So it might not be your decisional zone, but from this time frame for me, this is mine.
Oh.
Does it make sense? So for you, what
Because
have you
we
got this
see
zone?
this- we
What have
see
you got this
different,
zone as? Huh?
we see different in our eyes, yani. We see different. So
Okay, so you
someone
guys,
can,
does you guys got this as your decisional zone? That's a question. So where is your decisional zone, bro?
This is
So where is your decisional zone?
now you mark that was my decisional zone.
This one.
Yes.
No problem.
Oh.
No problem. Price has to come down to here as well. That's why I've marked down here. But even if I don't say this is my decisional, Once
Yeah.
this area get induced, I'm still expecting a reaction.
Oh, now I understand.
Does it
Why
make
are
sense?
you? Yes, yes, yes.
So that's why I've marked it, because this area, this is the area that breaks this line. And
Oh,
this is a very important area, because this area, this line, this right here, this right here is where the push start to came down. This is the last origin from where the push start to come down, and here is where the push went up and break it. So if the push start from down here and goes up, and this line or this area is basically broke it to confirm we're bullish, this area right here is what is responsible for me, and what I can see is what's responsible that caused this break. So this is why this area for me is important.
oh,
Internally, this area is important for me as well. That's why I've put it as I cover the whole area, and I mark it as demand zone here as well. And then if you look, I put another demand zone down here, because these are the important areas for me internally. Because look, this is external, this is internal. Up, low, high, break. Well, that's the break here. That's the test. Then push up, break again, test, went higher, came back down, induced the break and test. The break and test of this area here. So that's my break of structure here. That's the test. That's the push higher. That's the inducement of the break and test. And then we have expansion. But when we have expansion, we have internal structure and we have external structure. So this is a decisional zone for internal structure because it's inside. But for external structure, this is my decisional zone. Does it make sense?
yes, yes. Now I can understand.
And this zone is important for me because this little area here is what caused this break. So when price go into it and induce it, I'm expecting a reaction. But I'm not, depending on how it comes up, I'm not expecting a reaction from here to go and make a higher high, because as you rightfully say, we have internal zones like this that has liquidity, and price might gravitate towards to go and induced. So it can either induce internal decisional or internal extreme. And then you've got overall extreme, which is down here, which is where the push originate from. So it's how you understand it. You know, you have to mark it out to make it simpler for you to understand. And this is how I understand it. Any more questions while we're in structure?
I've got one, O'Shea.
Yep.
I want to know what medium inducement is, bro.
Medium inducement?
Yeah.
Medium inducement for me is like some people say it's like liquidity sweep. Arafat can probably help you a lot more. Some people say it's a liquidity, like it's a sweep of liquidity. It could be a break of structure. It's where, for me, it's where like price change from, like, depending on where you're going, it can be a sweep or it could be a break of structure. Arafat, I see you was gonna say something. You can tell him, bro.
No, it was me who's speaking. Who asked you that question?
Oh, it's oh.
I'm trying to pull your legs, bro. I was trying to wait until you noticed.
Oh, okay. What have you got for analysis, Arafat?
Literally the same thing as you, bro. Like, exact same thing. There's liquidity to the upside. So if we do get that structural low inducement of that break and test, you see where you put that little demand, the small demand?
This one?
Yeah, that one. I think there's equal lows there. Or that was for you, actually. So I might get inducement of that and then use it as a fuel to take some liquidity to the upside, because we tap into a monthly we tapped into a monthly extreme supply that caused the lower low. So a monthly, even if it's a SMT, it will give you a significant
Retracement.
retracement, or at least
Because
a
it's
break
a significant, you see that you said it, because it's a significant area, it caused the break of structure.
Yeah, but I'm definitely interested in this big demand that you got marked out below it, because that one underneath it. Yeah, that one. I'm gonna see what happens, especially under. You see how you have that break. If you no, the one above it. A little bit down. There's a break and test under it, under, right there. Just that liquidity pool. So at least I want an inducement of that underneath the low, that low. At least I want a sweep of that, tap into that the whole zone, and then look for buys from there.
Break, test.
Price can do so you never got induced that
No,
wick.
it didn't.
I
Right
was
there,
marking out last night. Literally, I was doing my market structure for this week. Yeah, and I fell asleep on my computer. I was so tired.
Yeah. But yeah, it's very, you know what? It's actually not hard, bro, but I can't lie to you. When you first start looking at this, I was like, oh my God. But now looking at it, it's actually so easy. It's not hard at all.
Sometimes, you know the difference between like someone who's profitable and not. It's just choosing the days that you want to trade. Like if you see liquidity in your entry, or you're waiting for a medium inducement and you don't get it, just wait for New York. Like I've noticed that recently a lot.
Yeah. And the other thing as well is just trade with the trend. We're bearish. High, low, high, low. Just trade with that. Until it tells you that it wants to now go up, then go bullish again.
100%.
But yeah, that's pretty much it. Does anyone have any other question apart from Arafak and Nish? I hope Nish is in here. Nish can't ask me any question because he knows a lot as well.
Where isn't it? Oh no, I don't think he's in it. But I think he's gonna come on a call later. I don't know if everyone is gonna be awake, or I'm not sure how many people are gonna be there.
So later on, Arafak is going to be doing back testing later on.
Shane.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yes, bro.
This is what Yassine was saying before about institutional levels. Well, see that 1900 level.
The 1900 level.
So if you just draw a line across, like all the way back.
Hold on 1 minute. Hold on. Let's get some water. $1900 level.
So it's like it's up. So if you just draw a
1900 is here. Hold on a second. 1900.
No, 119. Just 119. Right.
119.
Yeah, 1.19. Just like draw a horizontal line
all the way down here. Like here.
Yeah, and just like a horizontal line all the way across.
Right, it'll be somewhere there. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like.
Oh yeah.
Tap. Yeah. So it might like come tap the break and test, and then give a reaction.
Go down. Yeah, and then go down.
Yeah, but the thing is, I don't know why, but I'm thinking it might like manipulate people, if that makes sense. Like, because everyone's going to be trading.
For me, it depends. It depends if it takes this area or not. So if it just induce this area and not take it, and just we've already got an inducement anyway from this. If it just mitigate this area, then I do not. Well, we need to see, because people would have placed orders over the weekend. So that's why every time when after Sunday and the market opens, you'll see that like jumps, because that's all the order that's been placed over the weekend. So it all depends on where the market opens up and what Asian session is going to do. But if it takes this, I believe, because this is a key area, as I keep saying, I do believe it would then go up and try and aim for up here, or potentially take up here, or take some liquidity before then going down again. Does it make sense? So it all depends. It all depends on how the market opens up. Yeah, it all depends. But from what we can see now and where we are tonight, right now, is we have a medium inducement on EU into a mitigation of this level right here. So yeah, this level here is a medium inducement into mitigation. We're going to draw it a bit lower. We're going to do it to here. Medium inducement into mitigation. This is a medium inducement. Down here is mitigation, so some form of demand that's unmitigated. So this alone should give us a reaction, because down here has not been tapped into. So when's price left, came up, came back, mitigate here. Of course, it mitigate this, then push higher. Now is when it's coming back to do an inducement and into a further mitigation of this area. So if I drag it across, and remember what I said to you guys up here, where it gives a reaction and induce deeper, it's given a reaction. And now let me bring it up to here like that, top here. Look, it gives a reaction, induce, come out, or deeper, come out. So what's going to happen eventually? It's going to get smoke. This what I'm showing you here, is that not the same thing here? Yes or no? No one? One's quiet.
Yeah, it's the same thing.
It's the same thing. Okay. So this is going to get smoke. But yeah, that's it, innit? Let's wait and see. Arafak is going to be doing some back testing later on. So if anyone wants to jump on, if they're awake, they don't have work or whatever, be free to jump on. Arafak knows his SMT and he knows his medium inducement. So yeah, he'll be on later on. But yeah, for my pre-analysis, that's all I've got basically. So I hope everyone trade safe. Don't blow your account on Monday. And, you know, trade what you see. Don't trade what you can't see.
I think we need to print out that quote, Ocean.
Huh?
We need to print out that quote that you just said.
Don't blow the account on Monday.
Don't blow the account on Monday.
No, the part and the second part that you said, what you can't see. Yeah.
Trade what you see, don't trade what you can't see.
Yeah, literally.
It is, isn't it? Because if you're seeing it making bearish, and you see no efficiencies met, you're going to be jumping in buying. And I'm like, where are you buying from? It's not even telling you that it wants to buy.
Facts.
You remember Arafak? Oh my God, ages ago, I said to Arafak, why are we always trying to buy? This is before we understand about medium inducement. We're always trying to buy, yeah, on a down leg. We're always trying to buy when price was going down. We're always. And then I said to Arafak, you know what? We should just sell because it's going down. We should just continue selling it down because we're always trying to anticipate when the buy is going to kick in. And when the buy is going to kick in, we're always trying to anticipate when the buy is going to kick in rather than waiting for it to tell us that it wants to kick in. Don't anticipate, wait. If it's giving you sell, take sell. If your bias is on buy, do not sell. Wait until buyers kick in and then they tell you. They will tell you, they can't hide it. They will tell you. They will tell you a big bullish candle, minimum wick, like daily level, getting like zones, H1, H4, zones getting taken out on the bullishness. They cannot hide it. Look, they can't hide it. No matter how much they try, they can't hide it. Look, we stepped in. This has taken, it stepped in. These two has taken God knows how many days. They try, fail. They stepped in, they stepped in, they stepped in here more than any, and it absolutely obliterate the zone. They can't hide it. So when you start seeing candles like this, jump in. It's going up. It's respecting low. It's breaking higher. It's respecting low, breaking higher. This one didn't even come back down to retrace. It just went up. It finishes above. Respecting this, go close higher. Now, opposite. We're respecting high. We're breaking low. This day did not even come up to here to break it. Instead, it finished still above. It finishes here. The next day, respected this. There's a wick here, which is previous day high. Respect previous day high, break lower. Tomorrow, I'm expecting this area up here to be respected, and then it pushed down even further. Of course, it could, it could wick out because there's liquidity line above here. It could wick to grab some liquidity and then push down, but I cannot see it pushing up from here. So I'm just going to follow the trend and trade what I can see. I can see it's going down, so I'm going to trade going down. Until it's ready to tell me it wants to go up, then I'll go up. And that's basically it. But yeah, I'm pretty much done, bro. So yeah, I hope everyone have a good night and probably see you next week on the next Zoom call.
Appreciate the comments, so
yeah, no problem, man.
I literally jumped on in the last 15 minutes, but I'm gonna rewatch it when Yasin uploads it on the website and see.
No problem.
I was on my way to work.
I will close it in the cloud, so it's saved on there. I'm not gonna make the mistake I usually make and not save it on the cloud, so it should be there anyway. But you know what? Yeah, what I've noticed is everything that I usually say, it actually does happen.
Yeah.
You know, when we were down here and I said it's gonna go up, it does go up.
Yeah. You know how you've seen it so many times over the last 2-3 years?
Yeah.
So it's like your memory, like your mind just knows where it's going and has a feeling.
Yeah, definitely going down though. That is definite, bro. Definitely going down.
Hopefully Asian session opens on a complex pullback as a little small retracement. So then we can use
target the SMT low.
Yeah, and we can
use that would be an A+ setup.
100%. I don't know. For me personally, like some people are reversals for a star setup, but me it's like continuation. Yeah, either midline Asia or a medium inducement to continue with the trend.
Yeah, so like what we have here, this was a inducement. So this was London session, midline Asia. That's the retracement. And then once it's induced, that's midline Asia, the line here. Once it induced, I think induced this, then we had a sell-off, but the sell-off didn't break the low. Instead, we had a retracement again. That gave us that medium inducement because that's still a 15-minute structure. Get that induced, and then this one is the one that was responsible for the sell-off.
You know, O'Shane, if let's say Asian session retraces today and breaks the supply, I feel like there's extra confidence for us to sell. Because,
I'll be selling.
Yeah, because now how those liquidity 3 touches 1, 2, 3. The third one, so the fourth one, I mean, can be an inducement. But then we just have to consider, is that Asian high supply gonna hold this supply above the medium inducement? Because we don't usually sell from Asia high supplies or lows.
No, so for me, if we are gonna go up, I would want to see this one getting induced.
Yeah. 100%. And you also have previous week high right there on that line.
Hello? Yeah. Hold on a minute.
Just gotta see.
All right then. Well, that's it, innit? That's all I've got basically. But yeah, I'll see everyone later.
All right, bro. See ya.
See you later.
In a bit.